I feel like it'll be a little entertaining. I don't know how long he gonna last in with these big shots coming at him, but hey, only time will tell. You know, I'm not here to hype that shit. Not even my business. That's somebody else fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know, I got my own fish to fry.
Terence Crawford is not going to do anything to Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford, yes, he's good. He's a 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed, but he couldn't even hurt Majumov.
Is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills.
Gerlo believes Canelo will beat Terence Crawford, mainly due to Canelo's power and pressure. He argues that the key factor is how long Crawford can endure the heavy shots coming his way. Crawford is already moving up in weight to face Canelo, which adds to the challenge. Gerlo notes that Crawford couldn't seriously hurt Israel Madrimov, a solid fighter, but not on Canelo's level. Analysts agree that while Crawford looked dominant against Errol Spence, this is a different test entirely. Canelo is not only more powerful but also younger and more active in recent years, making him a tougher opponent. The fight, according to Gerlo, will come down to whether Crawford can survive Canelo's strength over 12 rounds, something that could be too much even for a fighter as skilled as Crawford.
10-0. That never got in the ring with anything like a Terence Crawford. That never got in the ring with a former champion, with an elite fighter. And he couldn't hurt. He couldn't hurt Majumov. Canelo Alvarez is no Earl Spence, ladies and gentlemen. I know that some of y'all are hyped because what Terence Crawford did an incredible performance and an incredible job versus Earl the True Spence that was supposed to be the big fish, that he turned the big fish into tuna fish on your outline, on your local supermarket. But Canelo Alvarez is not Earl Spence, my brothers. Canelo Alvarez is not Amir Khan. Canelo Alvarez is not Kell Brook. Canelo Alvarez is not Gamboa. Canelo Alvarez is not Felix Diaz. Canelo Alvarez is not Sean Porter. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys. Canelo Alvarez is not the Mean Machine. Canelo Alvarez is Canelo Alvarez, regarded as one of the greats. And not just the Mexican greats. I don't like how y'all try to put it. Oh no, he's the best Mexican, just because you don't want to say that he's one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Canelo Alvarez is one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Has carried the sport of boxing on his shoulder. And let me say it like this: leading up to the fight, Canelo Alvarez is more active than Terence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Terence Crawford. He's younger than Terence Crawford. He's more active than Terence Crawford. His resume is better than Terence Crawford. The people that he's fought is better than Terence Crawford. He's fought every damn style. He's fought the best Russians at the time with Kovalev. He fought the best Asian in Kazakhstan and Triple G.
According to Elbrook, he prefers Canelo Alvarez over Terence Crawford in a battle because Canelo is a totally different kind of fighter than any opponent Crawford has ever faced. Although Crawford's victory over Errol Spence was remarkable, Brook points out that it did not equip him for Canelo's tactics. Canelo stands apart from Spence and others due to his strength, experience, and capacity to manage battles at higher weight classes. It is one of the hardest fights of Crawford's career, according to Brook, since he has never faced a fighter with Canelo's skill set, power, and ring knowledge.
You've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's going to have to, move up, and, I knew when I boxed Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's okay. But when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but, Crawford's very, very, very good.
Do you think Crawford still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much got great IQ in the ring, but he's very much a good mover as well. Do you feel like he's still got the legs to be maybe out-moving Canelo if he needs to?
Well, I don't know. I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more. He kind of sets his feet. And he's cute with how he approaches chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from when he boxed Mayweather.
Given that Terence Crawford is stepping up almost 3 weight classes at 154 with no experience, analysts are emphasizing that he might just be too small to successfully injure Canelo Alvarez. They liken this to Floyd Mayweather, who faced Canelo after competing against several top fighters. Crawford, meanwhile, has only engaged Madrimov at that level of combat. The shots from smaller divisions do not carry the same effect when fighters are used to opponents with real power at higher weights. Gabe Rossadu continues, raising concerns about Crawford's ability to manage Canelo's might.
I think that Crawford may be too small to really impact and hurt Canelo Alvarez. He's moving up pretty much 3 weight classes, which is exactly what I said. I'm not counting 154. He had 1 fight, bro. He had 1 fight. Floyd Mayweather got more fights at 54 than Terence Crawford. Boop. Because Crawford, he fought Madrimov. Floyd fought De La Hoya, Cotto, and then he fought Canelo at 152. So you had an aging Floyd who fought more times at the higher weight class, and Bud looks to be a bigger dude than Floyd Mayweather, right? So when Floyd was 37, he moved to 52 and fought a much bigger Canelo. Crawford's 37, he fighting Madrimov with 11 fights. Not the same. It's not. I don't care what y'all talking about. The Bud Buddy's just gonna have to be mad at me because truth is truth. So that's a valid question. And again, I'll be glad when this fight's over. Put it that way. I don't care who wins. May the best man win. I hope it's a double knockout. I already told y'all. Just because I'm just over it, and I want to get back to some of the other fights. There's other fights that are interesting and they make more sense, like Brian Norman, Devin Haney. I'm interested in Yard versus Benavidez, etc. There's some fights we're hearing about, blah blah blah. So I'll be glad when this is over. To be 100% honest, there's more fights that actually fans have been requesting that matter, blah blah blah. But Rosado, he brought up a lot of good points. He was saying Crawford, he thinks he's too small, and he even gave his own personal experience. He said, like, I'm like 180, 190 solid, and when I fight guys that are welterweights, even if they crack and they're known for being like menacing, murderous punchers at the lower weight classes, 140, 147, them moving up, it feel like pillows when they fight me. When I get hit with their punches, it feel like pillows because I'm used to getting hit by triple, right? He used to Triple G work. He used to Lemieux work. So to me, this is kind of common sense, but common sense ain't that common, right?
Analysts continue to highlight a crucial factor in a potential matchup between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, whether Crawford can absorb Canelo's power. Canelo has stopped or worn down many top opponents with his heavy, precise shots. While some critics claim he's flat-footed and easier to handle, experts argue this is misleading. Canelo's style is based on timing, balance, and efficiency. By planting his feet, he maximizes the power behind every punch, making each one count. Crawford's slick movement and elite defense could allow him to avoid damage for extended periods. However, Canelo is known for his patience and ability to find openings as the fight progresses. The key question becomes whether Crawford can remain composed once Canelo begins landing clean shots. Many analysts believe the outcome may not hinge on volume or accuracy, but rather on Crawford's ability to take punishment. If he can withstand the physical toll, it could be a competitive battle. If not, Canelo's power may prove to be the deciding factor.
Is Crawford gonna be able to take Canelo's punches? And is Canelo gonna be skilled enough to not keep on getting banged up by Crawford and his craftiness? It's like, the battle of two greats, you know what I mean? So I believe that Canelo, you really see him, when you see him fight, he almost like got a one-way style, and it works for him. He likes to get in there and bang you up. He likes to throw hard punches. He likes to break you down. He likes to hit you everywhere. You're gonna hit in your body, your arms, the forehead, the ear, the neck. Wherever he can land a good one, he's gonna land it, and that usually breaks him down. So with some fighters, I see is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills. He does everything almost like perfect. But yeah, he's flat-footed, but you got to realize that he also has hell of a head movement and body movement. He understands, and he's perfected at rolling with the punch thing.
The night Terence Crawford dismantled Errol Spence is widely regarded as one of the most dominant performances in modern boxing history. Displaying exceptional speed, timing, accuracy, defense, and finishing ability, Crawford made it look effortless as he broke down a fighter once considered one of the top welterweights in the world. That night, he solidified his place among the greatest fighters of his generation. Now, as he prepares for a new challenge, those around him say he looks even better than he did back then. Training partners report that Crawford's speed remains razor-sharp, his reflexes are still elite, and his conditioning is at its peak. Though older, he's refined his style, adding more focus and efficiency to his already well-rounded arsenal. Those who have seen his recent training believe he's in the best form of his career. That level of preparation and self-belief may be the key as he faces a dangerous and experienced opponent like Canelo Alvarez, a fight that could further define his legacy.
Sharper than ever, more dangerous than ever, and most importantly, he looks like the greatest version of himself. Now, can we actually believe this? Can Terence Crawford at nearly 39 years old, with him being inactive, with him being heavier than ever, is it possible that the man will actually look better than ever? Now, let's think about it, ladies and gentlemen. When you're talking about someone like Terence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez, you're talking about the elite of the elite. And if I'm going to be honest, Terence Crawford, when he fought Errol Spence, in my opinion, in all my years of watching combat sports, I'm a MMA guy turned into boxing. But I have never, ever in my life watched an elite championship fight and had my jaw absolutely drop to the floor with the greatness that I witnessed. And that is the only way to describe what Terence Crawford did versus Errol Spence. In my opinion, that was the greatest performance in our lifetime. I mean, I can't go back to the old days. I'm not a historian. But as far as I'm concerned, that was the greatest performance I have ever seen in my life. And especially to who he did it to, Errol Spence. Dangerous southpaw. At the time, I believe he was pound for pound number 3. And Terence Crawford absolutely annihilated him.
Stay in Canelo's ass a little early on, put Canelo behind, right? Even if it's 3 out of the first 4 rounds, because when Canelo has to fight, okay, when Canelo has to step it up, after 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bivol. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. You know, when Canelo could control the fight and the ring generalship, like, yeah, he could fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance wise. So if I was Crawford, I would kind of stay in his ass a little bit on the early rounds and make him have to play catch up in rounds 3, 4, 5, and then by round 7, that's where he could really step it up.